don't you support a good team?
Yeah, like Liverpool or Manchester City.
Or best of all, Barnsley.
Yeah, why don't I support a good club? I don't think I'm meant to have nice things in life. Is probably the honest answer. I think I'm cursed with supporting a team in the dregs of the lower English leagues. But well, the truth of the answer is born and bred in Crawley. For me, it is a case of it's the local team, isn't it? I've been to Old Trafford. I've been to all these lovely stadiums, and it's great. But the feeling you get isn't you just get a feeling, don't you? And it's not about you don't just kind of get to choose who you support. I could just go and support Manchester City the same. I can just go and support Plymouth Argyle, or I can go support West Ham. There's
even
not
Brighton.
a feeling there. Or even,
Brighton.
definitely not. Unfortunately, Brighton definitely not Brighton now after last night. Oh my lord, it's been an entertaining 24 hours on social media for that. But yeah, definitely not Brighton. Albeit I do have a lot of Brighton supporting family. But yeah, born and bred in and around Crawley, and I've lived here for nearly 30 years. So I could walk to the stadium in 20 minutes. It's just a feeling you get, isn't it? It's a place of belonging. It's a place of knowing faces and names and feeling like a name.
Yeah.
So that would be why, a bit of a sentimental one for me. No sort of comedy or quip about it. It's I'm destined to support a team who are always going to be the underdogs, and I think that's precisely how I like it.
How did you get into supporting them?
My dad took me to my first game. I don't really know why, because he's not a massive football. He likes football, doesn't, but he's never been a sort of avid fan of any team. If anything, he's an armchair Liverpool fan because he grew up in that era.
What's your dad called, Luke?
Stephen.
Right, I'll do it for you, Stephen. Leave it with me. So he might be a Liverpool supporter, might be. Stephen, you're a wrong un. Don't lead your son down a bad path. He supports his local club. Stop it.
It is
right, sorry, Stephen.
I've got him.
Sorry, Luke.
He's got a Crawley season ticket this season, along with my 2-year-old's got his first season ticket. So I've actually sort of converted him down to. He was at Wembley with me and my brothers. So I've, if anything, converted him. But
well
yeah,
done,
he took
Steve.
me to my first game.
He's redeemed himself a bit.
Game in 2004 when we were coming out of the. I don't even know what it was then. I guess technically now it's like the National League South. But I guess back then it was the Dr. Martens Premier or something like that. So yeah, we were in there. We had a big game against Weymouth. We won 2-1, and it was sort of the big 6-pointer to find out if we could get into the conference. And yeah, that was my first Crawley game. It's probably my second ever football game. So yeah, it was. And I just sort of went back sporadically until I got my first season ticket in 2010. So yeah, it's been. It's been a period. I don't know how else to describe it. The ups and downs and highs and lows, a lot of lows, but also the highs, as few of there as there have been worth the lows. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's always going to be more lows in football, but yeah, the highs have been as high as they can get. It feels like
what football's all about, isn't it? The highs as well as you can't enjoy the highs if you don't experience the lows.
100%, yeah.
And the highs get you through the lows as well.
It just has to be Rovers, doesn't it? You know,
That's a good club. They said good club.
Yeah, it's actually Rovers,
right,
very, very good club. Yeah, I just love the fact, just support your local team, innit? I think there's, especially nowadays, you got way too many people supporting, Premier League clubs that they don't even go, etc. So, yeah, that started back in 2007. One of my friends from primary school said, "Do you want to go to Rovers versus Doncaster in the Millennium Stadium final?" So I was like, yeah. And ever since then, ever since I was 11, I've been going, pretty much all the time, home and away.
That's a few years then, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
as many as me because I started going when I was 4.
Yeah.
No, the usual thing, Dad taking you and it gets in your blood, and you see the floodlights and all that. It gets in your blood. 66 years for me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I might not get to the end of the show. I'm that old, but we'll see now. We'll see.
Because look, I'm going to own it. Stevenage Football Club, right, Andy, is the greatest football club in the world, and I'm owning it. The best football club in the world. But do you know what? For me, do you know, I've been asked this question many times. Why do you not support a big club? And in our area, we it's full of Arsenal, Tottenham. Like where I live, Arsenal, Tottenham's 20 minutes down the road, and at Stevenage is a 15-minute drive from me. And do you know what? I love the club we have. It is my life. I go every single week. I don't miss any single game. We do the podcast. I just love it. It's my life. Me and my mates will do weekenders away whenever the team play near a city. We've got so many booked this season. We've already done a couple. But that's why I support Stevenage Football Club. It's my life. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
How did you start? How did you start that off? I think you've told me, but you might have told me that before.
As in started going to the club?
Have seen it. Yeah. Where did you start supporting them?
Do you know what? So I've been a fan for 20 years of Stevenage Football Club. And I first started going when I was a kid. I can't remember how old I was exactly, but I was at the time, me and my dad, basically we live in a town called Ware, and I still live in Ware now. And at the time when I was a kid living at home, Dad would always take me to go and watch Ware play. And really oddly, I actually ended up playing up there when I got to a teenager. But we were going to watch Ware play, and Ware were in, I don't know what league, it was like the Isthmian League, something like that. Yeah. And I think they still are, oddly. But went up there, and the standard was really poor, right? And my dad said to me, look, we need to take you to see a better standard of football. So we had a look at the games in the area, and I'd been to a Stevenage match before. We played Rochdale in the FA Cup, and that was actually technically my first game. We lost 2-0, and this was about a year later. And we started looking at some Stevenage were in the conference, knocking on the door for the playoffs every year, and we just started to go. And it just became a hobby. It became a thing every year. And then as I got older, I then got a season ticket and then met friends through the club the past 9 years, 8 years. And really, the club and going to watch the team has become a big part of my life the last 8 years. It's literally like everything. I go home and away, as I said, don't miss a game, do the pod, everything. So, yeah, that's how I got into it. And I'm so happy I did, because I look at the memories I've made over the past, 20 years, but the last 9 years have been brilliant. So, yeah, that's how I got into it.
I think I like all the trials and tribulations of being a Huddersfield Town fan, all the ups and downs. God, it wouldn't be great if you're winning all the time, like Manchester City all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's boring.
Oh, Barnsley. How did you get to support it? I know you've told me before, but how did you get to support him?
I don't know, really. My dad, like you say, my dad used to take me to Hillsborough, didn't he, when I was younger?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to support them. I supported a proper team, blue and white, from West Yorkshire. So you'd have to drive me a bit further.
You didn't have to change shirt, did you?
No, Tesco's carrier bag.
Whoa! I mean, Sometimes I wish I did.
What, Barnsley?
Like I said, 33. Well,
support them on Saturday.
You've played at a higher standard than us for the majority of the time I've been a Vale fan. So, I mean, family have always kind of dictated who I support. And I'll be honest, the older I'm getting, I don't know whether I don't know whether 33 I can consider myself getting a miserable old man. But
you can.
I don't like VAR. And I feel like it takes away the talking points. And so I'm quite happy in the lower leagues with Paul Vale. So yeah.
Right, don't swear. Why not Stoke City?
Oh, I mean that's two sentences that don't go together.
I know.
No. To be fair, growing up, I was always the one Vale fan out of about 20 Stoke fans, so it's not been easy.
Yeah, mine's an interesting story. I was born in Carlisle. Played football there.
I know. That's nowhere near Cambridge.
I know, exactly. Every time I tell this story, it gets more of a question in eyebrow. But yeah, played football there till I was 17. Went to uni in Nottingham. Moved to Cambridge in 2012 when I was 21, and commentated on Cambridge in the conference as a broadcast journalist graduate. And then they got promoted to League Two, and the rights got removed from my radio station. So I thought I'd get a season ticket and start supporting them. And then, lo and behold, here I am. 10 years later, still supporting them.
Wow, that's a hell of a journey.
Why don't I support? I mean, how can you say that? I don't. Well,
they're young.
They're young. They're brainwashed. Obviously. Well, see, I can't support Barnsley because I'm not from Barnsley, am I? So I can't support Barnsley. Can't do that, can you? And to be honest, when I started supporting Wrexham didn't have. Well, we did, to be honest. It's that long ago now. It was sort of in the mid '80s. I was going to say we didn't have that many fans, but back in those days we used to have good crowds. To be honest, we had good. We were in the Football League at that point. But through the majority of the time I've supported Wrexham, they've needed my support because we've had rough times and not many other people sort of had Wrexham's back. So that's why, and from a Premier League point of view, and think those big clubs. I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy that anymore. No. It's not football anymore. It's become it's a farce. And I'm so glad we don't have VAR and all that stuff. So yeah, they were my local team from the town I've grown up in and lived in, and they needed my support. Unfortunately, we've just got lucky in the latter few years, haven't we? So that's why.
Told you there were scams.
Another great question.
Told you.
Best of all, Barnsley, that's the best bit. Why do I support? I mean, this is, as I said before, the podcast, this is a question I ask all the time. A question my son asks all the time now when he comes. It's like, why? Why is this a thing for me? Why do I have to suffer this? Basically, so my dad took me to my first game at the County Grounds, which was the old stadium. In the early 90s, I think it would have been. So it was an experience to a start. I just fell in love with it. Became our bonding thing to do. Me, my dad, my brother, my pap, my granddad for a while as well. So sort of all of us went to home games and just yeah, I just fell in love with it there, and it just never stopped. And a lot, you obviously you have the same kind of things at school. You have your friends who support Man United, Liverpool, Man City. Well, not Man City back then. It would have been like your Chelseas maybe. But yeah, I just never really got interested in supporting a so-called bigger team. I don't think it was just the blood and thunder of the lower leagues really spoke to me. Just loved it. Loved going to Sixfields every week. Loved being able to kind of meet your local heroes and stuff. And it's just lower league football is just the best thing ever. So I mean, I'm stuck with it now. I think it's and yeah, I think you always think, don't you? When you're at this level, you think, one day I'd like to go up to the Premier League one day and things, just for one season, maybe, which we did in the 60s. We've got the fun fact of us being the only club to go up and down in about 8 or 9 different seasons. So we went all the way up from Division 4 to the top, came all the way back down, and that sums up Northampton Town, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the fantastic thing. I just love it week in, week out, and wouldn't have it any differently.
Should always support your own team rather than
absolutely.
hunting elsewhere.
Well, the first one, let's rule out Barnsley because I'm not from Barnsley. I'm from Stockport. Oh, your heart bleeds.
Oh, you could have built up to it. You didn't have to be so brutal, Russ. Oh.
So yeah, it's dead easy. From Stockport, born in Stockport. A lot of people, especially growing up, do support a City United, but we call them town traitors. So yeah, it's just county. It's just county. We have a song on the terraces. Am I allowed to swear? You'll hear it probably. Not allowed to swear. Anyway, I'll bleep it out. We have a song on the terraces that says United are poo, City's worse. We always put the county first. There you go.
How long have you supported them, and how did you get into supporting them?
So I'm in my mid-40s now. So I've been supporting them since the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And my dad took me, who's a City fan, believe it or not. He took me as a kid, and then.
To Stockport?
Did. Yeah, to county. Yeah, because it was local and cheap. So, yeah, and that's how it started.
A northern dad.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So worked out well. Your season tickets are a lot cheaper than Manchester City's. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and United's, yeah.
Fair enough on that. That's a dig. Look, I suppose
I'll tell you the little scamps. The scamps, what can I tell you?
I think it's a family thing. I've been Rotherham fan since at least my great-grandparents. Once you go as a kid, you're just in. Obviously, when I was in the 90s, the Premier League was just starting, so it wasn't kind of everywhere like it is now. So I may have been different. I had grown up now, but yeah, Rotherham United was everything when I was a kid. I wanted to know the league tables, I wanted to watch the highlights, and it's kind of stuck with me for almost 30 years now. And I, like we mentioned earlier, I wouldn't change it for the world, although it's hard a lot of the time. I still wouldn't change it.
Parents have never taught you anything, it's that the best club is always on your doorstep. Stay true to your heart, stay true to your home, and that's why I support Mansfield Town. When I was a kid, I wasn't massively into football. It wasn't really a me thing, and my dad did that stereotypical thing of trying to get me some friends and sort of get me included the group. He decorated my room in Manchester United colours, and I just went, I don't like that, and he took it down. And years later, I ended up going to watch Mansfield Town, and I think he sort of gave me a wry smile one day and just went, I knew you'd find proper football one day, son. And that's exactly why I do it. They're my home team. I was born here. The club means a lot to me. It's been a big part of my life for various reasons, whether it's meeting friends, whether it's meeting, partners, whatever that may be. It's just always been there. And I think my advice to any young supporter is don't get dragged in by your TikToks, your YouTube clips of all that. That's not proper football. If you could go around your Old Traffords, your Etihads, your Emirates, whatever stadium in the top flight, and I can guarantee you this, there'll be people in that stadium that sit like on the next row to each other. They won't talk to each other. They won't form friendships because it changes every single week. You come to watch a club like Mansfield or Barnsley or any lower league club, you get talking because the club binds you. That's how you form friendships. That's how you form conversations. And ultimately, it's how you see proper football. We might not be ever Champions League. We might not be winning trophy after trophy. But do you know what? I don't care about that. All I care about is the club being there on a Saturday and being able to go and be with my mates or my dad or whoever and having it there to make those memories. Because I'll tell you this, Manchester United fans, Man City fans, whoever, they won't have the same memories in their hearts as what we've got. Fact.
Well, born on the wrong side of the peaks to be a Barnsley fan. I was born in Billinge, and a hostel is no longer there actually. But I played football when I was a kid, but I didn't really support a team really because I was about 7 or 8 when I was playing football. And my granddad was taking me to Manchester City games. He's a lifelong City fan. He was born around there, so he supports his local. And I remember when I started to really get into football, he went, "Don't think about becoming a Man City fan. They're not your local." He said, "Support your local and never deviate." And he said, "Wigan Athletic is your local, so that's who you'll support." And he said that to me, and I've stuck with it ever since, and had season tickets. And obviously we've gone on to do great things, and at the moment not so great things, but you stick by him. So that's why, support your local.
I'm gobsmacked that a Manchester City fan would say that, but well done to your, what's his name?
David.
Lots of respect, David. Well said. You brought him up right between his parents. Well done, David. I'll take my two of my grandsons to Oakwell, my son and two of my grandsons to Oakwell, Jack and Noah. And they've got no choice but to support Barnsley. I don't give them any choice. I indoctrinated them from before they could speak, as did my son. So you've got to support your local club, haven't you? I mean,
Yeah. Causes me a lot of heartache at times, but a lot of success comes with it every now and then. But yeah, I stick by it, stick with them.
Real football. Thanks for that, Charlie. That's so you could have supported Manchester City after all, couldn't you? Irrespective of what those little sods said, you could have done. If your granddad hadn't been a good human being, so well done to him.
Do you know, as a kid, I used to grow up and sit down, and one of the things I always will never forget is FA Cup finals and watching it with the grandparents. And it was always the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds. But I wasn't interested in that. I didn't want to be a glory hunter. And my dad was a Birmingham fan. My granddad was a Birmingham fan. And so it was natural for me to choose Birmingham. And my first game as going and say to a live game was actually the Leyland Daft Cup final at the old Wembley when Birmingham took 55,000 fans, and it was an amazing day, one I'll never forget. And also probably, and in fact for me, one of the best goals you'll ever see scored at Wembley when John Gale did a bicycle kick, winning us the game and winning us the cup. So Birmingham's in the blood. and it will stay there. It's actually in my family as well. So my wife, season ticket holder. My 2 girls, season ticket holder. My youngest daughter is she's worse, probably worse than me. She has to go to the ladies. She has to go to the men's. And it's costing me a fortune. I've got to try and think of another hobby.
I understand completely. We've managed. All my family have been season ticket holders at one time or another, and I've now limited it to just my son and two of my grandsons because I can only afford 4. So everybody else, I've got a niece that comes and a great niece that comes sometimes. But yeah, we try to limit it. But there is one thing I want to pick up on from what you said. You said, I suppose, because I don't want to be a glory hunter. That's what you said, isn't it? Don't want to be a glory hunter. But then you said my first game were a cup final. Is there all about? How's that work? That sounds glory hunting to me, Craig Courtney.
My dad always, and I never forget him saying it. He was like, "Oh, I'll take you to a game. We'll go to Elf Church." Now, Elf Church was our local non-league team, and he was, "I don't want to go to Elf Church. I want to go to watch Birmingham." And he always said, "I don't want to go to Birmingham. I don't want to take you because there's always trouble." And this kind of history of trouble causing from Birmingham and the reputation was one thing that put him off. But the funniest story of all is went to Wembley, had a great day. The following season, I got myself a season ticket for the first time. My first game on my own as a season ticket holder was when Birmingham played Stoke. And surprise, surprise, the game didn't finish because there was a riot on the pitch. So he was actually proven right. But things have changed. And
good.
You go down there now, you don't see that anymore. We're a family club. I'm very proud to say that that's the way it is.
I remember when we played during the playoff semi-final in 2000, they were a bit. I were in the way, and they were a bit about the bottles and what have you. So it's when we beat you 4-0. I don't know if you remember that.
You like to rub that one in, so I'll give you that one.
I thought it's the only thing I've got to be able to say. I've got to give myself I've got to cheer myself up somewhere. And it's funny that the guy that scored 2 goals and showed a masterclass in finishing, his son is on Barnsley's books, which is Joshua. So that's good to that's good for us. Bruce Dyer's son, Joshua Dyer, he's on our books. A young lad. But he's come on as a sub, I think, maybe once, maybe twice. Played in some of the smaller competitions, But 2 goals, I don't know if you remember. Beat you 4-0. Anyway,
shooters 4.
I'm glad things have improved. Same across all football. I'm glad it's improved, Craig. It's good for families to be able to go.
Well, the hat's coming round for this one. I'm going to be serious. Why don't I support a good club like Liverpool, Manchester City, or even Barnsley? Now, I'll be honest, supporting a club like Barnsley, I'd respect. If you come from Liverpool, or you come from Manchester and you support Liverpool or Manchester, then happy days. Or if you've got a mum or a dad that supported both of them clubs and you somehow became a Liverpool or Man City fan and you lived in London, that's fine also. But I'll tell you a little story, guys. When I was a young lad, I was taken to my first game. It was an Orient game. I fell asleep. But because when you're at school, I wouldn't say I was bullied, but because everyone was more popular supporting the big teams and Liverpool were big at the time, for about a year, I was a Liverpool fan. And I went to see Liverpool play Tottenham at White Hart Lane and we won 2-0. Have I cared about Liverpool since? No. So I realised that going to games of football with my dad and my family, seeing people that were invested in a football club that was a community-based football club, seeing the same faces every week was much more fulfilling for me as a younger guy. And as I've grown up, it's become a supportive network of people. We've been there for each other when we've been down. We've been there when the club's been up. We've helped people get jobs. We've supported the football club. So why do we support someone like Leyton Orient? Well, we're a community club. We've been through the fires that non-league is, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So if you're a Barnsley fan, you stay a Barnsley fan, because at the end of the day, it's real football. It's real football in the real world. It's not entertainment like the Premier League, and don't ever let anyone tell you any different.
That's absolutely fine, Adam. I've got two grandsons that are season ticket holders. I've got more than two grandsons, but two that are season ticket holders. Got Jack, who's 13, and Noah, who's 10. They both play football. Jack now lives at Bacup. They live over in Lancashire, but South Yorkshire's where Noah lives. And when they go to their football training, I said they both play football, they're up against, in Noah's case, people that support Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, Leeds, all that lot. Whereas Jack faces your Manchester Cities, your Manchester Uniteds, your Liverpools and what have you. They wear the Barnsley shirts to training, loud and proud. And so they'll not forget that. So yes, they support their club, and like you, forevermore it shall be. So indoctrinated them really, really well. So they can't escape my evil clutches that easily anyway.
I was going to say, why don't you beep off but your children? So I can't say that.
11-year-old Johnny. Bless him.
Why? Yeah, no, you have to support the club where you're born. None of these plastic, Man City, Liverpool. So, like, I remember back in the days, you youngsters wouldn't remember this during the war. I sound like Uncle Albert. When, back in the 90s, there was all these Blackburn fans that came out of the woodwork because they won the Premier League. And then it was, oh, geez, who's the other? Man City's the latest one, obviously. Everyone that's, they're fans. And then, obviously, Liverpool doesn't actually have any fans that live in the city. They're all outside and, tourists. So they're back again for their tour this time. I blame my parents. I can't say any more than that. It's their fault. I was born in Reading, bless them. So I'm stuck with it, and I'm happy.
How did you start going? How did you start going to your first games?
Oh, geez, the first game I went to was actually with my dad back in 1981, Bournemouth away. Because I only lived in Reading until I was like 5, so I was born in 1972, which is for people that are watching this, it was in black and white. I lived in Reading till I was 5, and then my dad worked, and we moved to Dorset and moved around the rest of the world. So I didn't get to go to games when I was little, but my dad used to go out drinking with Robin Friday. Who, if anyone, nobody probably up there knows of Robin Friday. Robin Friday is there's a book out. It's been out for a long time. It's called The Greatest Footballer You Never Saw, written by Paulo Hewitt and Giggsy from Oasis, talking about Man City going around in circles. He was the lower league George Best, is the best way of describing him, back in the 70s. Long hair and didn't care, and was one of the most talented players. There was a game against Tranmere. He scored a goal from about 30 yards. And Clive Thomas, the ex-referee, refereed in the World Cup and different things, actually stood there clapping. And then, another game, Robin scored a goal and he went and kissed the policeman's helmet. Not that helmet, this helmet, just to clarify what I'm talking about there. My dad came home with one of his socks one night after a night out. He was a bit like I say, he's probably football's answer to Jim Morrison. He's like Sean very briefly, unfortunately. He went to Cardiff after he left us because the guy, Charlie Hurley, was our manager at the time, and he got us promoted, and Robin was unreal, but then the off the field stuff was just insane. He went to Cardiff, got arrested on the way down because he didn't have a ticket on the train. And there's a really good photo of Robin the band called the Super Furry Animals. I don't know if you remember them. There was a song called "The Man Who Didn't Give a Fuck," and there's a picture of him like that to the Luton goalkeeper after he scored past him. He was notorious. Bobby Moore lost the plot with him after Robin grabbed his knackers, and he was a brilliant player, but he had health issues as well, and unfortunately Robin passed. I think he was 39. But Reading, we had a player of the century back in the 2000. Robin was voted that because he would have played higher level talent wise, but none of the big teams would go near him because they knew all the off pitch stuff that he got up to. He'd jump in a nightclub naked off a stage, like weird, insane stuff, and probably drink and drugs and stuff as well. Like there's rumors that he used to drink three or four pints before a game, go on the pitch, score a hat trick. Like it was this like the 70s, 80s football. But he's still one of our heroes.